heard of Balatro yet.
No.
It's a game on Steam, like a video game.
Okay.
And it's a card game. It's based around poker. So you need to do like hands and pairs and, flushes and straights and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But then the like jokers add different like score multipliers.
Okay.
And there's different decks and there's different things you can unlock. And it's like a roguelite. So if you like fail the game, you start again and you lose everything and you have to start all over. And let me tell you, it has been taking over our lives and the lives of gamers all over. This game blew up. Cody and Shane were playing it.
Mhm.
And I was like, what is this silly little card game you nerds are playing? And Shane has it on the Steam Deck and I can hear all the sound effects. And then I hear them from Cody. And Cody's playing on the computer and the PlayStation. And apparently it's one dude from, I believe, Vancouver. So it's a Canadian game. Love that. Little indie game. And it just popped off. And he's having a whale of a time with it. And I just think that's so great. But it is addicting. So if you want to try out Balatro, not sponsored. It's just been taking over my freaking life.
Sponsor us, Balatro.
Yeah. Try it out, but maybe like don't do it if you have like shit to do.
Yeah.
Because you'll start playing it and then you'll get the hang of it. And then 72 hours will go by and you're like, oh, I've been playing for 3 days straight.
I have been playing The Sims 4 again.
Oh, such a good one for like the Christmas period.
And you know what? I have been playing The Sims since Sims 1 like came out.
Oh, same.
And it is something I will always go back to, especially now. There's a new expansion. I still need to get it, but you can be like a mortician.
I love that. Actually, you know what? I might have to jump back in now
It's
that you just said it.
fantastic.
I have the vampires pack, of course, but like that's a lot of fun. I know there's the werewolf one too, but all I've seen is like funky, glitchy clips from it, which is like freaky. But Sims 4, I think Christmas is a good time to get back into any of the Sims game because it's like it brings that like childhood nostalgia back. I feel like we've all at some point like gotten a Sims game for Christmas or something.
That's literally what I asked for.
Amazing.
My mom was like, what do you want for Christmas? I was like, Sims expansions.
Amazing.
She's like, that's what you wanted 10 years ago. I was like, yeah. And 10 years
Nothing's
before
changed,
that.
Mom. Nothing has changed in this particular way.
If anything, I'm consistent.
We've also, again, not a new game. We're I guess, opening the podcast with games we've been playing lately today. But Cody and I have been in, what is it called? Return to Moria. Lord of the Rings Minecraft game, basically. Except you play as the dwarves from Lord of the Rings. And the story is, it's like after the events of like Frodo and the Fellowship and everything. And the dwarves are going back into Moria to like repopulate it, basically. But it's so much fun. And like when you're mining for ore and stuff, because you get to build and all this stuff, the dwarves sing together.
Aww.
And let me tell you, my heart.
I love it.
And there's a couple of times where you like rebuild these big statues of like dwarven lords or whatever, and then it tells you the lore and they're like all singing along. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little misty-eyed.
Aww.
But yeah, some fun games for the Christmas break.
My sim died in a temple.
In a temple?
Yeah.
That seems like bad vibes.
I'm devastated.
That's bad juju for sure.
Yeah. She was exploring a temple. She died.
Lara Croft.
Right?
Who is she? Anywho.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dina.
And I'm Charlotte.
Welcome to the Grim Curriculum Extra Credit.
Yeah.
It is 2025.
2025.
Right now.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Hope your holidays and your Christmases and all that good stuff was wonderful. Hope if you had any time off that you did exactly what you wanted to do with your time off. I have been personally rotting at home playing said video games.
And I've been working like a crazy person.
I know. I don't know how you do it.
I don't know either.
You know what? I don't ask for much for Christmas. Cody and I have been together so long now that like we just buy what we want for ourselves.
Yeah.
But what I really, really hold dear to my heart is just time off where I have no expectations, no plans, so I can reset my brain. That's all I want in life.
I had the funniest thing happen. I just need to share this really quick. I don't have a lot of family in Canada.
Right.
And
Same.
so I got together with my cousin, her husband, her mom, and then her husband's parents.
Okay.
And it was Steve's first time meeting my family.
Like a full Bosnian.
Like fully meeting them.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so I tell him, I'm like, it's going to be really low key. They don't really drink. He's like, should we bring a bottle of wine? I was like, no, they don't really drink. It's going to be really low key. The first thing my aunt does
is cracks open a bottle of something.
She goes into the freezer and brings out this like homemade Bosnian moonshine.
Oh, my dad has stories about trying that when he was over there.
Yes. And then she's like, let's do shots. And so we
Steve's
just,
like-
and he's like, what? And I'm like, okay, never mind. And then she brought out a different Bosnian moonshine and we just like did shots with my aunt. It was the weirdest thing. It was so much fun, but I was like, well, I guess that made a liar out of me.
I was going to say, don't you love it when you're introducing a new friend or a new partner or whatever to your family and you're like, hey, let me set the expectations for you.
And then they're all wrong.
And then you're like, yeah, just go ahead and make a liar out of me.
Yeah.
Humiliate me.
And not just like regular, it wasn't wine. It was like homemade Bosnian moonshine from Bosnia.
I remember, not to get too off like kilter, but whatever, it's extra credit. We'll talk about it. When my dad talked about trying it when he was in Bosnia, he said they were in like a little village and they were having coffee and tea with everybody and talking and whatnot. And this like little old lady, this little grandma comes up to him and she's got a little bottle of something and 2 shot glasses.
Yep.
She's like, do you want to try? And he's like, sure. I mean, you only live once. And he said, so he tried it and he said it was lovely. But then he felt like it was like he'd poured it like all down himself. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. And he's like, wait, it's not wet. And it was the fumes from the alcohol that he could like feel on his skin. And he's like, oh my God, this is Bosnian rocket fuel.
Yeah, it really is.
Amazing. But Steve was like, oh, I thought we weren't drinking wine. And it's like, yeah, we're not drinking wine, homie.
We're drinking moonshine.
Yeah, love that.
So we have some fun stories today.
Yeah, I figured since it is, well, technically January 1st, the year of 2025, our Lord and Savior and all that good stuff, I do have one true crime thing, but we're talking about sentencing, so that's important. And then I thought we'd do some more lighthearted stuff and kind of talk about what happened in 2024, what our expectations are for 2025.
Yeah. I've got a story about squirrels.
I love that.
And then one about a little bit of a Grinch.
Okay. Do you want to start with my sentencing one first, and then we'll get into kind of the fun stuff?
Yes, that is important.
I feel like we'll start on a low and then get to the highs kind of thing.
Let's do it.
Although, you know what? I say starting on a low. This is to do with the Delphi case where a gentleman, and I use that word very loosely, murdered 2 teenagers in Indiana. You guys probably heard about it back in 2017. Liberty German, who is 14, and Abigail Williams, 13, were murdered by Richard Allen. He has been sentenced to 138 years for their murders.
I hope he fucking rots.
I do too. I mean, this case, like I said, if you haven't heard of the Delphi murders, please look into it. We will absolutely be covering it at some point because it's a wicked case. And I am glad to see that we're getting some kind of justice. But like I said, 2 teenagers, they had been dropped off to go hiking just shortly outside of their hometown. This asshole came upon them and murdered them. I won't get too deep into it, but the family has expressed gratitude for the community, saying that like everybody came together. This was going on for 8 years.
Yeah, it took a long time to catch him.
Yes, and he wasn't taken in right away. They actually kind of came back to him after the fact. Libby's grandfather, Mike Patty, said it's been almost 8 years coming, he said after the sentencing hearing. A form of justice was served, but unfortunately it does not bring Abby or Libby back. No. But I am glad that Mr. Allen here will not be seeing the light of day for a very long time.
This guy's a monster. I remember following the case before they caught him.
He was a pharmacist, and there was no reason for it.
No,
absolutely no reason. He came upon them and murdered them. Yeah. But yes, he's seeing justice, and we're happy to see it. So on to the more lighthearted stuff now.
Maryland man accused of pouring whiskey into holy water, threatening parishioners during midnight mass.
Whoa, nothing spices up a little churchy evening like somebody's spiking the holy water.
So authorities arrested a 56-year-old man on suspicion of disrupting religious services at 2 churches on Christmas Eve.
He was feeling some kind of way.
Thomas Von Gates first went into Holy Angels Catholic Church shortly after 5 p.m. during Mass. He allegedly walked towards the altar and dropped an onion in the aisle, disturbing the peace of those attending. An individual reportedly followed him when he left to make sure that he left the premises, and he threw tangerines at them from outside the church.
Do we think there is symbolic significance to the onion and tangerines.
I know. I was like, that's an odd choice. Like, is that just what he had on him?
The beautiful thing, and I won't often say this about the Catholic Church, but the beautiful thing about the Catholic Church is, to me, the stained glass and the rituals and all of that. They have a lot of aesthetic, shall we say. So it wouldn't surprise me if he's like, yes, in this book of the Bible, so-and-so threw an onion and it meant this, so I shall drop an onion today and that will be my statement. But more than likely, I feel like he just went through his pantry and is like, oh, that's nice and round. Like, I could huck that.
That's a good throw an onion.
I could huck a tangerine at someone.
So later that evening, he entered St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church during their midnight mass, and he poured whiskey into the holy water and threatened to hurt parishioners. He allegedly tried but failed to hit multiple people with a whiskey bottle.
Sounds like he's just like kind of having a
bad time. Parishioners detained him before deputies arrived, and they transported him to the hospital for a medical evaluation.
Oh.
He was arrested on December 26 for charges of second-degree assault, disorderly conduct, defacing religious property, religious crime against a group, obstructing a religious exercise, and threat of massive violence, along with disturbing the peace.
I didn't know we had so many specific religious laws that you could break like that.
I mean, he was making a lot of threats, and I think that's kind of what got him. And then the fact that you're making them in a church, that adds a little bit of spice to the mix.
Also, it's midnight mass on Christmas Eve. There's kids there. There's whole family. You got everyone from grandma or great-grandma probably, and sometimes all the way down to probably newborn babies. Families coming to, worship and have the Christmas spirit amongst them. And then you have this guy.
I just picture it's a solemn thing. They're saying, whatever.
All the candles are lit and all that.
And then this drunk guy just waltzes in with his whiskey bottle, starts pouring it in and throwing it. I've been watching Shameless.
It's a very frank vibe.
It is a very frank vibe.
I don't even watch Shameless, and I know what a frank vibe is.
That is literally who I'm picturing.
And the thing is, what a waste, my guy. If you wanted to have a much better evening, go somewhere else where you're comfy and warm and drink your whiskey.
Eat your tangerines.
Don't waste your whiskey in the holy water. You don't drink holy water anyway.
No, he just wanted to mess things up.
Well,
now he's in trouble.
It's
not worth it.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
That's a pretty stupid game.
Don't accost families at Christmas mass, please. Leave them alone.
So this story I wasn't going to talk about until I got it kind of last minute.
Okay.
And this is from our dear listener, Cosplay Bug Yeg.
Oh, hell yeah.
Squirrels are displaying widespread carnivorous behavior for the first time in a California park. This is from the Smithsonian.
I thought you were going to say this is from The Simpsons. Because I feel like that could be an episode that we're now coming to light.
The squirrels have been spotted hunting and decapitating voles in a gruesome dietary adaptation.
Okay, wait a second. Did you ever read or watch the Redwall series as a kid?
I did.
Are the rodents going to war?
I think they are.
Are we expected to see them with little crossbows and suits of armor here pretty soon?
2025, man, it could happen.
The rodent wars of 2025.
So what's happening is they've gone after the voles. A professor of biology has said we've never seen this behavior before. So the initial discovery was made by undergraduate researchers who returned from the field state earlier this year with videos of them showing this behavior. And they said in their 12 years of studying, they've never seen this before. This has been documented at least 74 times. And in 42% of the interactions between the voles that they saw, the squirrels were hunting them.
That is insane.
And then from that point on, they started seeing it every single day.
Oh my God. What kind of squirrel is this? Do we know? Like a gray squirrel, a red squirrel? Because I will say, in England, we have gray squirrels. And to me, that's what a normal squirrel was growing up. And then we learned about the red squirrels. And red squirrels are only in, I think, one place in the UK because all the gray squirrels either murdered them, not directly like this, I don't think, but basically ate all their food sources.
This is a California ground squirrel.
Oh, a ground squirrel, no less.
So what they're saying is rather than waiting or hunting in a group, they would stalk and pounce on them. They would tackle the vole, restrain it with their forepaws, bite its neck, and remove the head. Then they would either strip the fur from the vole to expose cartilage, meat, and organs, or tear the meat directly out from the torso.
Holy, that is insane. That is horrific.
Yeah, so they're saying that this is because of an overpopulation of voles. They're saying
Okay.
that they're at a 10-year high. The thing that's crazy about it is it seems like this kind of happened almost overnight. Like one day they were fine and the other day they were not.
It's crazy how just a slight tip on the scales for an ecosystem
Yes.
throws everything into utter chaos.
Squirrels of all ages and sexes have been taking part in the hunt. And they're saying that this could be a crucial survival mechanism. It's also happening in high human populations. So, what they think is happening is that the voles are eating their food. So, in turn, they're eating them.
I mean, Mother Nature, she balances things out
She
in the
does.
end, right? Oh man, I'm trying to be like objective. You know, when you're watching like a nature documentary and you have David Attenborough narrating, and when you're watching the show that's about the gazelles, you're like, fuck yeah, gazelles. Love the gazelles. Oh,
Yep.
the cheetah didn't get you this time? Hell yeah, gazelles, right? And then you flip it and you're watching the cheetah documentary. And you see the cheetah chasing the gazelle, and you're like, fuck yeah, cheetah, you get that gazelle. So, like, on one hand, these squirrels have me clutching my pearls. I'm like,
Yeah.
you rabid, little monstrous, like vicious, barbaric little creatures. But then I'm like, are the voles really the baddies here? And I think the lesson is there's no good or bad. It's just life.
Nature's fucking metal.
Nature is hella metal.
Yep.
Death metal cannibal corpse squirrels.
Yeah, I can't imagine being in a park because I am the kind of person I get excited when I see a squirrel.
Oh, I wildlife in general, I love.
So I just can't imagine. I'm in a park, I'm having a nice time, I get excited, there's a squirrel, and it's got a head in its mouth.
That would flip your whole perception. It's flipped my whole perception upside down. I guess for you Californians, you keep an eye on those ground squirrels.
Yeah, keep an eye out on your squirrels.
They can be vicious little bastards when they need to be. Oh my God. So I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole. There's a thing called Google Trends, and you can look up like the highest trending like Google things per country and all this stuff. Now, I was like, well, I'll do England, Bosnia, and Canada.
Okay.
Bosnia was not on the list.
No. Oh, we're not an inquisitive people.
Apparently, we had, there was like Serbia on the list. There was, I believe, Slovenia and Slovakia on the list. And a few other countries in that sort of region. Not Bosnia.
Bosnia's like, we know enough. We're good.
I guess so. And unless they're just not using Google and they're using something else in Bosnia, I have no idea.
I'll have to ask.
So in the end, I was like, well, you know what? We'll just do Canada. We'll keep it simple. So I looked up the what, whys, and hows, and I have the top 5 for each.
Okay.
And this is the trending questions of 2024 by Google Trends for Canada. So under the whats, we have number 1, what time is the solar eclipse? You're going to see this as a pattern. It comes up a lot.
Okay.
Next, we have what time is the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight? I mean, fair enough. There weren't too many people I didn't know who weren't watching it. Number 3, this is what is Project 2025?
Oh my God.
Oof. And then number 4, what is a solar eclipse? So what time is it happening?
What is it?
But also, what is it? And then what is mpox? Was the last. So for the questions I didn't really know the answer to, I looked them up for us. So
is it monkeypox?
It is.
Okay.
So they're calling it mpox these days because apparently monkeypox, as it's commonly heard, obviously we've heard it on the news and stuff, apparently kind of has some pretty racist and discriminatory origins. So they're now just calling it mpox.
Okay.
But it's a viral disease that causes a rash, fever, and swollen lymph nodes. So fun fact, mpox. Then we went over to the whys. So we top 5 whys. Why can't you look at a solar eclipse? Number 2, why is Drake trending?
Oh my God.
Number 3, why is Israel attacking Lebanon? Why is Israel attacking anyone is the real question. But number 4, why is the LCBO on strike? And I hear you say, well, Charlotte, what is the LCBO? I also wanted to know, so I looked it up. It is the Liquor Control Board of Ontario.
Okay.
And they had their first ever strike in history in July of 2024. So apparently a lot of Ontarians were looking that up, and they do have a higher population, so it makes sense that that's why it would be trending. And then number 5 for the wise for 2024, why did Trump win? I can't answer that question. Well, I can simply answer the question, but you know. And then as for the last ones, the hows, number 1 was how many electoral votes are there? No context to who is electoral vote, but I'm assuming the US, but how many? Number 2, how tall is Simone Biles? Which I also
So
wanted to know.
random.
She is 1.42 meters or 4 feet 8 inches. So she's just a little gal.
Oh.
And then we had how long will the eclipse last? So when is it? What is it? Why can't I look at it? And how long is it going to last? How often are total solar eclipses? The eclipse was really taken over, eclipsing, you could say. And 5, how to watch the Olympics in Canada.
I'm a little surprised at all of the solar eclipse questions.
Me too. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So out of 15 questions, 5 of them were about the eclipse. That makes me kind of happy, but it also makes me a little bit concerned for the amount of people that had to ask why you can't look at it.
Right?
So there's some fun trends for you from 2024.
It's pretty innocent. I like it.
For the most part. You know what? I appreciated that there was some political questions, and I think you should ask questions.
Yes.
For sure. I love the solar eclipse ones. The 2025 Trump popping up a couple of times. But I think, honestly, that's a pretty good roundup for what the year was in 2024. We had Olympics. We had a social eclipse. We've had a lot of crazy things going on.
You said social eclipse
A
again?
social eclipse. Who's been social eclipsed? A solar eclipse. I encourage you guys to go look at the Google Trends for your country or your area. For if you're in the States, you can, I believe, put in like a city or a postal code, and it'll tell you the trending for your postal code. So that could be very funny, especially if you're from a small town.
I like that.
So yeah, go check it out. 2024. Let us know how your guys' 2024s were as well. Was it all that you expected in a good way or a bad way? What are your goals for 2025?
Yeah.
I know you asked that out on the socials.
Yeah, I want to know.
Not resolutions. I'm not really a resolution kind of gal.
I am a goal-setting person, though.
For sure. I think you should set goals, but also don't beat the crap out of yourself if it doesn't necessarily go how you think. People change all the time. You don't need someone to tell you a specific date to make a change. Change is ongoing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of 2025, I thought since this is our show that I would look up our horoscopes for 2025. So I'm a Capricorn. It's currently Capricorn season. Scorpio, yes, October 30th. It breaks it down into a few different categories.
Okay.
But it says for Scorpio, the overall outlook in 2025, it's a year of transformation and opportunities for Scorpios. While Saturn's transit brings some challenges, Jupiter's influence ensures moments of progress and growth. This year will test your resilience, but it will also reward your efforts, particularly in relationships and career. Staying grounded and prepared for change will help you navigate through this year successfully.
All right.
So that's, I always find that it's very like
could be anything.
Generalized. Like you could really look at it any way you want. Oh, your best months of 2025 are January, February, and April. They are the most favorable. It says these periods will bring opportunities for career growth and relationship harmony. Utilize these months for important decisions and new ventures.
Okay.
Bad months of 2025. So it says June, August, and October could be challenging. Be cautious during these months and avoid taking unnecessary risks, especially in health and finance matters. And your key mantra for 2025 should be stay adaptable and patient. Focus on building strong relationships and making well thought out decisions. Your resilience and determination will be the key to overcoming challenges and achieving your success.
All right.
So, I mean,
can work with that.
I think that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Let me see what Capricorn was. I didn't even look ahead of time. So this is going to be as much a revelation for me as it will be for you. Okay, what do we got? So overall outlook for Capricorns in 2025 says the same thing. Mix of challenges and opportunities. The first half of the year, we may see some family-related issues. Oh, Lord. Family, don't don't. If you're watching, don't. This second half of the year will bring new friendships and exciting opportunities. Stay steady and determined as your practical nature will guide you through any storm. Okay, well that's seems all right.
It's doable.
Let's see what my good months are going to be. Oh, March, April, and November. So the beginning of the year we have handled between the months.
We got
We're
this,
good.
yeah.
So March, April, and November stand out as promising months for growth. These months will provide you with momentum to overcome challenges and achieve goals. But my bad months apparently are going to be January, May, and September. January, I think, is a tough one for a lot of people, though.
It is, yeah.
Because it's a slog. There's no like long weekends. Everyone's broke. Everyone's depressed. It's the middle of winter.
I'm supposed to have a great time in January. So
I hope the best for
Thank you.
It says my mantra for 2025 is stay focused, stay balanced. Your determination and practical approach will help you sail through challenges to find success. Remember, persistence is your greatest strength. I don't know about that. I'm just a small girl who is ready to give up at any moment. But I'm glad my horoscope believes in me. We'll see.
That's all that matters sometimes.
Honestly, it's a load of hooey, but I love it
I
anyway.
love it. I'm a sucker
like
for it. I really am.
Me too. The planets, surely they have some kind of, I don't know, cosmic effect on all the little beings.
You know what? There's a part of me that hopes that they do, because if they don't, then we're all just like,
I know. Then it's really all of our fault as human beings.
Exactly.
Which
I don't want that.
No, I don't want it either, but I think that's the truth.
I think it is.
It's okay. Let me have my Delulu little horoscopes.
Yes.
It gets me through the day.
Exactly. All right. So that brings us to our latest strange and unusual death. So you know how I feel about bears. I've said it many times.
Yes.
I don't like bears.
Not your favorite critter.
This was pretty recent.
Okay.
A Virginia man has died after a bear in a tree shot by one of his hunting partners fell on him.
Oh, no.
The bizarre accidental death occurred December 9th in Lunenburg County. Virginia's Department of Wildlife Resources said in a statement that a hunting group was following the bear when it ran up the tree. As the group retreated from the tree, a hunter shot the bear. The animal fell onto another hunter who was standing about 3 meters from the bottom of the tree.
Oh, no.
The department has identified the man as 58-year-old Lester C. Harvey of Phoenix, Virginia. A member of the group rendered first aid before Harvey was rushed to 2 different hospitals.
Oh, dang.
He died from his injuries on that Friday.
Oh.
He was a married father of 5 with 8 grandchildren.
Dang.
And he was a self-employed contractor and avid outdoorsman.
What are the chances of a bear dropping? It must have broke his neck or something.
So apparently, I like that you said that.
Okay,
because similar incidents have occurred in recent years.
Oh my God. Well, in my mind, I was like, what injury did you sustain that you didn't make it in the end, but you had time to go to 2 hospitals in between?
So in 2018, a man in Alaska was critically injured after his hunting partner shot a bear on a ridge. The animal tumbled down a slope into the man, who was also struck by rocks that were dislodged by the bear.
Did that man die as well?
He was just injured.
Okay.
He's okay.
But it is known to happen.
In 2019, another man was injured after his hunting partner shot a bear in North Carolina. This bear was also in a tree. It fell out of the tree and then started attacking the hunter. The man and the animal then tumbled off a cliff. The hunter was taken to the hospital. He survived, but the bear was found dead.
What a story you would have to tell your hunting buddies after that.
Right?
You wrestled with a bear down and off a cliff, basically.
Yeah.
Guys, I shouldn't have to say this. I say that a lot on this podcast. If something is above you, maybe don't shoot at it. Having the high ground, I feel like that's an important thing as a hunter or as any kind of tactician. But you know what? At the end of the day, Mother Nature, she is a fickle and unpredictable lady. And if she decides that that's how you're going to leave this earth,
that's it.
That's it. She's going to toss a bear at your stupid ass.
Yep.
Feel bad for the bears, though, I will say.
I know.
Just bearing around,
They're
and then someone shoots you out of a tree.
Yeah. You're right, though. If it's above you, don't shoot it. That sounds like a sim way to die.
Yes.
Like, I'm thinking of my poor sim that just died in a temple, and I'm thinking she could have met the same fate.
Look out for falling bears, guys,
Yeah.
if you're in the wilderness.
It's not the first time we've talked about it either.
No. You know what? I'd be curious. We're saying this on January 1st, 2025. I wonder if there'll be any more gravity bear related incidents in 2025.
I'm sure if the squirrels don't get you, the bears will.
Maybe this is Mother Nature's plan to like start taking things back a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anywho.
I don't blame her.
Me either.
Thank you all so much for listening. This has been the Grim Curriculum.
Extra credit. Bye-bye.
Bye.